boys and girls, we now have Abby coded, and we are going to, now we're going to code the school bus. So she comes and gets in the school bus. So now what I want to happen is I want to get it to switch to the next backdrop. Now, if you have not watched the first video about switching to backdrops and how to upload a backdrop and change backdrops, go watch that video first. So now I'm going to come, and she's going to come over here, and she's going to tell the code. At the very beginning, I put a new piece of code here, said switch backdrop to the school. So that's the way I want her to always start at the school and not on the map. So now I'm going to say switch the backdrop, and I pull down to the map. So now I click play, and she says we're going on a field trip. She goes into the bus, and she hides, and she switches backdrop. So now I'm ready to code the bus. So on my bus, and if you want to change the color of your bus, you can. So I set, first of all, on my bus, when the flag is clicked, I want it to set it to 100% because I want it to be big on that first backdrop. But if you notice, it's really big, too big for here. So there is another event. Another event is called when the backdrop switches. And then I can say when it switches to the map, when the backdrop switches to the map, now I'm going to set a size. Now I want it to be small enough to fit on the map so that I can do this. So I'm going to come over here. There's a button here that says set size. And this time I'm going to change it to, let's say, 30%. Let's see. I think that's going to be still a little bit too big, so I'm going to say 20%. Okay, so I'm going to set it to 20%, and I'm going to give it a new starting location because I wanted to start there on the first scene, but I wanted to start here in Utah on the second scene. So now I'm going to have to come over here, and I am going to give it a new go-to location. So I'm going to say go to this new location. And now I'm going to use my purple blocks, and I'm going to say. And I'm just going to say where we are. So I'm going to say Utah. And you can give more details or tell more, but just, and now I've gone to Utah, and now I want to go to Yellowstone. So I'm going to move my bus up to where Yellowstone, which is kind of up here in Montana, and I'm going to use a block here called glide. It makes it look like it's moving to that new location. So I'm going to say glide, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk. I'm going to say glide to Yellowstone. Okay, and now I'm going to say glide. Now I want it to go to Nebraska, which is right here. And so I'm going to glide, move the bus, then glide to the new location, and then I'm going to talk, and I'm going to say Nebraska. Okay, and then I want to come over here to like Washington, D.C. So I'm going to glide to that new location. And now I'm going to say where I am. So now I'm going to say Washington, D.C. Now I'm going to move it to Florida, and I'm just going to keep following this pattern. I'm going to move the bus, pull out my glide block, and then I'm going to have my say block say something. So now it's going to say Florida. And then then I'm going to go to California. Once again, doing that same thing. Glide to the new position, and now I'm going to hit say. Now, did you see I almost grabbed this one, go to a random position? That would take me somewhere weird on here, and I want to make sure I'm controlling where I go. So you won't want to use this one right now. Okay, and now I'm going to say California. And then finally, I'm going to come back to Utah. So now I'm going to do that one more time. Glide. And the reason you don't want to do go to, it looks like it magically jumps there. So you don't want it jumping. You want it to look like it's moving. And then end it with saying something like we made it home. Okay, and that is that project. So now he says we're going on a field trip. Oh wait, why the bus was in the wrong spot. So I'm going to hit stop again, and I'm going to come over here, and remember I should have given it a starting position at the very beginning to make it look like I wanted it to. So I'm going to debug that really quickly, and I'm going to say go to that position. So now when I click the flag and test it, I can see that it is working, and it goes to all of the different places. Okay, and you kind of see how we've done that project.